Okay, so hi again. Um, so back here in Carmen, um, and the other thing I want to talk about are those oral exams that are coming up. The good news of this is that we're going to have a little bit less class time because these are typically going to take place during class time. Um, I will be setting up a doodle poll in order for everybody to schedule. So keep an eye out for that in your inboxes. I'll get that out sometime later this week. For now, I just want to talk about how it's going to work and what is expected of us. So again, I am in Carmen. I'm in modules. I'm scrolling all the way down to the bottom. Um, and I've got, let's start here. So I've got oral exam here. So let's start looking over by looking over oral exam guidelines for students. So this, it will last approximately 7 minutes. We'll see in a minute. Does that mean that you're gonna be expected to practice it for 7 minutes? No, so don't worry about that. That's time for me to get technology working, all that lovely stuff. And it's not going to be in the regular classroom. We'll be doing it via Zoom. So I'll be creating a Zoom meeting and having people come in and out. Hopefully I can get that to work a little bit better. But I want the visual. I don't want to do it over the phone with the Google Voice. So I usually do use a sheet of paper like we have here, but that's not really a possibility. So all of you will sign up in advance. We'll do that this week. And then the oral exams will be next week. So the first week of April and the second week of April. So half of you will go next week, half of you will go the week after. And it'll be your choice as to when you want to go. Do keep in mind that this is the same as a quiz. So if you were to not be able to make it, we would want to have some form of documentation. So again, you all know your schedules. I know all of our schedules are a bit different now. Just be sure that the time that you're signing up for fits within your schedule, and be sure that you're on time, because if one person's not on time, if one person's 20 minutes late, that throws it off for everybody. So just be sure that it's a time that you can make it. You'll have the topics. We can see here. We'll look at those in a minute. The exam is, so we're not going to use any notes, anything like that. This is really like, we're going to have the topics in advance, but really what it's looking at is how we can produce Spanish in a somewhat spontaneous fashion. So we're not going to be using any form of notes for this. Then usually it'd be you picking this, but I'll take care of it, just because I don't want you all to have to print things out. That'd be a waste of paper. So basically, I'm going to have every topic cut into strips of paper, and I'm going to have it in an envelope or something. And then I will pick 3 topics at random. So it's true double blind. I don't know. So you don't know which topics you're going to get, and neither do I. It's just random chance. The good news is we know all of the possibilities. We just don't know which particular topics we're going to get. I want to say there are about 12 of them. And of those topics, we're going to pick 3. And of those 3, we're going to choose 2 that we want to talk about. You get to put one back as well. If there's one you really don't want to talk about, or you're just like, oh, I think I'm really strong with these 2. That's completely your decision. So you get to pick. Everybody gets to put one back. And if you would like to practice, again, please feel free to give me a call. We can get on Zoom. We can do some trial runs. I'd be happy to do that. Usually in class, I manage to dedicate some time to working in groups and doing some of these together. That's unfortunately not really a possibility this semester. If you guys know more about technology than I do, if you want to practice with yourselves, awesome, go for it. A lot of times, bouncing ideas off of others and kind of having someone to support us and help us out can be really helpful. So if some of you want to kind of form a study group or whatever, great, go for it. Or if you want some practice with me, that I'm happy. That's what I'm here for too. So just get in touch with me. We'll find a time, because I can get on Zoom. I can get on Zoom if I know someone's there. Then it does seem to work for me. But just let me know when a good time for you is. And about each of those topics, we're going to speak for about 1 to 2 minutes. So I'll be timing you. I'll be using my phone to time you. And I will never interrupt you. What I'll do is once we get to around the minute 45 mark, I will hold up my phone so you can see exactly where you're at on time. And that's kind of my way of non-verbally helping you out, especially if kind of you are running out of ideas. It's kind of my way of saying, okay, you spoke for plenty of time, you're fine. Wrap it up whenever. It doesn't mean stop mid-sentence. It just means wrap it up whenever. So that's really how it works. That's it. So now let's take a look at the topics. Again, we already have the topics as well. So I'm in that same module, and I go down one, and I go to topics. And we can see here that it's broken down by chapter. So we're obviously not going to be assessed on chapter 8, just because we're just going to be getting started with that. So we're going to have 4 topics from each chapter. So starting with chapter 5, so going back a little bit, we've got habla de tu rutina diaria durante un día típico. So daily routine stuff. Habla de los quehaceres domésticos en tu casa, apartamento, habitación en una residencia estudiantil. So we've got chores. Describe el lugar donde vives. So describe where you live. Describe 2 cuartos favoritos. ¿Qué cosas haces ahí? ¿Y por qué son tus favoritos? That's kind of an interesting one. Describe 2 of your favorite rooms in your house. And then moving on to chapter 6. In chapter 6, we talked a lot about food. So we've got describe tus preferencias y hábitos de la comida. Your preferences and habits regarding food. Identifica y describe tu restaurante favorito. Habla de una comida memorable que preparaste y o comiste. One thing we want to be careful with here is we've got una comida que preparaste o comiste. So here we're talking about something in the past. So that means we're going to need the preterite. So just keep that in mind with that one. Or then we have habla de tu fin de semana pasado. What you did last weekend. So again, we would need the preterite there as well. Finally, with chapter 7, we've got habla de tus preferencias sobre el tiempo y las estaciones del año y de tus actividades durante ellas. So what we like with weather, what seasons, and what we like to do during them. Then we've got describe una excursión memorable de tu pasado. So a memorable trip from your past. Again, be careful. We're going to need the preterite there. Habla de tus gustos en los deportes. What sports do we like? Or finally, describe un evento deportivo al que fuiste o que viste en la televisión. So a memorable sporting event that you either attended or saw or watched on TV. So again, that one we need the preterite as well. So these are the only possibilities. That's it. I forget you're in the... You can't see what I'm gesturing to with my hand. Sorry. This is it. So these are our only possibilities. So remember, of these 12, we're going to pick 3. We don't know which 3, but these are our only possibilities. And then of those 3, we're going to choose the 2 that we want to talk about. And then we're going to speak again about each one for 1 to 2 minutes. And then lastly, how are we going to be assessed on this? It's pretty straightforward. So let's see. So our first criterium, I think is the singular, criteria, plural, criterium, is comprehensibility, pronunciation, clarity of speech. So they're all 1 to 10, 5 criteria for a total of 50 points. So with pronunciation, the main thing I want to emphasize is that I'm not expecting perfectly fluid, perfectly enunciated, flawless speech. This is a second semester class. So the main things I'm going to be looking for are we following our rules of pronunciation? So for example, am I saying hacer instead of hacer? Things like that. And then most importantly, above everything, that it's comprehensible. That's by far the most important thing. Vocabulary. Are we not repeating the same words over and over? Are we using the words correctly in a logical context where they make sense? Are we using words that reflect what we've learned in the semester? That's really how we're looking for there. Then moving on to grammar. We've got just basically the structures that we've learned, that we've seen over the course of the semester. Are we using them where appropriate? And are we using them correctly? Content, essentially, have we fully answered the question? Have we said everything that we can about it that we know how to? So essentially, be sure you know, take a good look at those prompts and just kind of think of all the things that you could say about them. I would say in my experience, if you're practicing, try practicing for about 3 minutes, because you're going to forget a decent amount when you're on the spot. So I recommend, in terms of things to say, I recommend typically over-preparing a bit. And then finally, we have fluency. What do we mean by fluency? We don't want basically one word followed by a 2-second pause, then another word followed by a 3-second pause, and then another word or two followed by a 5-second pause. So we want to minimize the pause. We want it to flow as smoothly as possible. And that's it. In terms of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and then how we're going to be assessed on it. I will be doing another Zoom live meeting this Friday during our regular class time. So if you have any questions about either this or the quiz, please don't hesitate to drop by then. And I'm happy to clear anything up. So again, don't stress too much about this. I know this I'll just put it this way. I know this is not a normal semester, and that will be taken into account with grading. I'll put it that way. So, hope this cleared up some doubts. And if you have any other questions, I look forward to talking to you soon. So, thanks for taking the time to watch this, and take care.